Okay. All right, family. Welcome. We are trying as much as possible before we start the show for today. I remain your host, Darlington Steve, the Afropolitan Apostle. And so we'll be going on a break as we're about to start the show. And just stay put. We'll be right back just now.
The AfriOne Show, voice of a new tribe, where the Afropolitan spirit rises as we come together to rebuild Africa, Nigeria, and its marketplace, empowering its people and the diaspora with everything they need. Together, we form a new tribe, creating opportunity and access to markets, driving reinvestments, fostering collaboration, and working to elevate and one another with proven solutions. A true revival in Africa is possible, despite the challenges, though through intentional development that drives innovation, delivers mutual benefits, and inspires a culture of ownership for Africa and Africans. The time is now to unite, innovate, elevate with the Afropolitan Apostle, Darlington Steve, on the AfriOne Show, voice of the new tribe.
Hello, family. Are you looking for you to invest in the property currently now in Abuja, Karishi? This is an opportunity for you to get a 400 square meter of property, which is going for 700,000 naira right here in Karishi. And so for you to be able to enjoy this very particular promo, I want to encourage you for you to use my promo code, which is the Afropolitan Apostle, and you will get a 50,000 naira discount on the first 10 people that will be buying this very particular product. If you are not located in Nigeria, or probably you are outside of Nigeria and you want to be able to participate on this, please, I want to encourage you. I want you to use the number that is currently on the screen for you to call the office and tell them that you want to use the promo code, and they will do everything possible in making sure that you get your land. And so with that being said, what you will get when you buy the property from Ethan Gold Estate is, number one, you will get your deed of assignments, you will get your power of attorney, and currently the land already has what we call the R of O, which is known as right of occupancy. So which means it's 100% secured investment, 500% return on your investment if you are willing to keep your land and making sure that at the end of the time you have good returns in your investment. Remember, if you are doing this investment and you want to buy the land, it's going currently now for 700,000. But if you use my promo code, which is known as the Afropolitan Apostle, you then get 50,000 discount from that. Why must you invest? It's the fact that it's a fast-growing environment. It's literally 15 minutes from the Karishi main town, so which means a lot of development is currently happening in that space. People are fast moving to that very particular area, and from what I gather and visiting that very particular place, literally limited space available. So literally this product is first come, first serve. And I want to say this, at Ethan Gold Estate, we are good at marketing your product, making sure that your investment for product blossom and you get good return in your investment. We also advise you on the terms of investment to do when it comes to property. And maybe for you watching this, you have a land or a house you want to sell. I want to encourage you, why don't you talk to Ethan Gold Estate, and they'll be able to facilitate a good deal with you and to get your product out there. Always remember, Ethan Gold Estate is a proud sponsor of the AfriOne Show, voice of the new tribe, Nigeria. Thank you, and God bless you. All right, family, welcome again to another segment of your show, which is known as the AfriOne Show, voice of the new tribe. We're currently broadcasting live from our Abuja studio in Nigeria. Thank you so much for all your messages that you have been sending into. I believe that, sorry, pardon me, I just need to get the TikTok on to be up and running so that we can then be able to engage on our conversation at this moment. Thank you, every one of you, for joining us today. And I believe that today is going to be a very interesting conversations. And I'm hoping for those of you who would call, not now, I will let you guys know when to call, but the number for you to definitely call us is currently available on the screen that you are currently watching beneath my name. And so you can take advantage of it so that you can then be able to engage on the things that we'll be talking about. Sorry. I think I'm hearing a feedback somewhere, so I'm trying to make sure that I don't have feedback that is stressing me. Please pardon me. I'm trying to look for where the feedbacks are coming from so that I lock it out. Okay, I think I've dealt with the feedback. So sorry about that. Just a feedback that I'm currently listening to in the studio here. So please, if you want to call us on the conversations we're going to be talking about today, which would be the ability for us to understand your market, understand your markets, and that's the conversations I want to talk about. And I think the reason why for me that is very important is because many of us are going into business without us understanding the markets in which we are playing into. For some people, literally, you are in the fashion business, you actually do not understand that fashion industry. I know, yes, you're passionate. What's called you are passionate. Is it passionate or you are passionate? That's what I'm looking for. You are passionate about the industry where you are currently. You like to sew. You like to make people beautiful and stuff. Behind the passion, there is a business and structure that you need to be able to put on the table to make sure that your fashion business is able to bring in money so that you can then, number one, employ people, put model and system that can grow the company, where from there you can then begin to tell a story of legacy out of that very particular place. And so because of that, many people will go into business without them understanding their markets. Who are the people you are attending to and all of those very particular things. That is a demography for everything. The kind of market that I, as Darlington, would be looking into in terms of the service delivery business that I do, or probably the media side of things, is totally different from the fashion designer, totally different from somebody who is in the banking sector, or maybe somebody who is doing a value added services or product, for example, like your telecommunication and all of that. Every one of us, there is a level of the market size that we all need to operate into. So you can't just say, for example, like I was saying to somebody, I say you can't just say you are servicing Nigeria. Nigeria as a whole, as a country, have different sets of people. There are the 80%, there are the 20%, there are the 1% of the 20%. And so all of that also, even with all of that, there's still also age group, there's demography, there's religion, there is tribe. There are people's different sets, mindset, culture, religion, and systems and strategy that would make of all of these to be a different narrative and a different game. So because of that, today we want to look at conversations around you building structure in your business, building structure in your business. The number for you to definitely call us. For somebody, chances are maybe you want to call to just ask question, not to pitch your business. I think within the next 20 minutes or so, we'll be talking about all of these so that we finish and we then come back and talk the pitching side of things. And so let's say you want to talk, you want to ask a question around the structure of your business. I think what prompted this up, we have a message that was popped into our Facebook channel, which is known as the AfriOne Show. I want to encourage you, if you're watching us currently on any of the platform, please and please follow our social media platform known as the AfriOne Show. And so this very particular lady sent a message around, how do I build a structure? I'm a very good, talented person. And I think I could remember what we then do is the fact that we end up sending almost more than 5 different methods on how to build a structure. But not just that alone. A lot of people have been inboxing and stuff on how do I build a structure. I'm a small business owner. So because of that today, I'm going to be talking about how to build a structure. And one of the things there is in building the structure, you can only build a structure where you understand the people that you are addressing. Because if you do not understand the people you are addressing, you are just going to build a random structure that at the end of the day, it then begin to cause you problem. So in defining, as we start, in defining how to build a structure, number one, you must be able to define your brand identity. What is the identity of your brand? You must be able to understand. Are you standing for the poor? Are you standing for the rich? Are you standing for the middle class? Your brand identity that we're talking about, do you have a clear vision, a clear value? What are the market positions? So all of this encompass in building a brand. The brand is not just the logo that I'm wearing here. No. Behind the logo that I'm wearing, there is a value that is behind the logo. Behind the logo, there is a vision. Behind the logo, there is a market positioning. For example, market position is the fact that for now, we are positioned in terms of servicing startups. So either you have an idea or probably you are currently running your business and you just need for you to be able to have one or two. So because of that, it then helps us to construct our conversation, put our packaging and our product in such a way that it addresses you. I remember, permit me not to mention name, a particular caller called me and we're talking. He says to me, we like the show in which you are doing, but want you to understand that the part that we are interested is when you talk about the African countries. He said, no, the 50,000 that you give to people and we're not and I understand what he's saying, because at the end of the day, he's making me to understand that I know that this is the market in which you are serving, but you are also touching a particular place that we are also interested in, which is the ability for you to talk about African nations. And that's a show in which we do every Wednesday on the Armed Forces Radio, which is 107.7. I hope I'm correct. So we do that every Wednesday, but on Friday like this, we just come to just talk about market. So number one, you must be able to define your brand identity, which means the business name. Many people have a business name, but you can't tell the story behind the business name. Somebody once asked me the other day, why AfriOne? I said the reason why is because we're too divided. And so African becoming one is why we're AfriOne. It's as simple as that. And I can tell you point blank that it's a posture of my story that I have experienced while in diaspora. And so because of that, I know the divide that plays in diaspora community, where there are some certain favoritism you get here and these other people don't get it. There are some certain perks you get. There are some certain privileges, including to healthcare, insurance, and all of this, right? And at the end of the day, for me, it doesn't sit well because I'm an African. If I'm an African in my own continent, which means it's my responsibility for me to be able to move around my continent. That's why the name AfriOne and the logo, the way it is structured as A1, is because we want us Africans to begin to get to that point where we see ourselves as one. So with that being said, it helps us to position our market strategically. So which means behind your business name, what is the story behind it? Because can I be honest with you, as a VC is operating now for the past 5 years, I can tell you point blank that every investor wants to know the story behind your business. Why are you doing it? Because if they can't find the story, if you come and say no, it's because it's because or the economy is bad, I'm looking for something else to do, your staying power will not be strong. But when your story is very strong, the reason why is because, for example, the passion at which somebody who goes and study medicine because it's the available course is different from the passion of somebody who studied medicine simply because they lost their loved ones in the hospital due to lack of provision or lack of professional doctors in there. The same one, they are all pursuing medicines. But one of them is because that's the course available. This one only is because there's a story behind the reason why they are doing that. So the question that I need to ask you, what's the story behind your business? Oh, most investors will ask you the story behind your business. I think there's this popular show that is on social media. You can find it. One of them is called Dragon's Den. One is called Lion's Den. There's a lot of dens that is out there. Go listen to that very particular show. Most of the investors who wants to invest money in those very particular, in you as a client or as a potential participant in that show, they will always ask a story behind why you are producing that product. Because if the product is not personally affecting you or there is no pain point from you, they will not, because they know that you're just taking chances. The idea may be good, but we can't see the pain point. A lot of people are looking for pain points because that would determine your staying power in the business that you do. It will determine your staying power. So which means that is number one, you have to define your brand identity. And in defining your brand identity, I said you must be able to come up with a business name and also tell us a story. I think to a large extent, I remember most of the times by the time on the call on the radio and we try to ask people, tell us your name and where you're calling from, they tell you name of the what business do you do? Sometimes you just hear that they are just trying to survive, which I understand the economy of Nigeria will literally force you to survive. It will force you to survive. And I think I was saying to the team currently, and we'll try as much as possible to see how to get that. Even the tax bracket currently now that the government is about to implement from the 1st of January 2026. Yeah, we're 2025 now, 2026. And I was saying to them, I said, see, guys, I won't want to say what I said to them. You need to come up with plan B. Because this thing is not going to be favorable to a lot of income earners. And the bracket at which they put a lot of the income earners, I was saying to one of the team, I said, see, it's a copy and paste strategy that is literally going to increase. And I think one of the team actually said it, that is literally going to increase Japa. So in the place of jackpot, my own point is I'm not against you jackpotting, but please jackpot to one of the African countries where the numbers are very minimal. And so when you enter there, it's fine. Because where Nigerians are going now, you have to really, I feel like now I don't want to mention name. I feel like talking like one of the pastors in Nigeria here. It's a popular name for those of you who know the story. After some certain thing happened, he now says to say, please hear me. I'm your pastor. As much as you have your Nigerian passport, go get another country passport. So that in case anything happen, if the country fold, bounce. So with that being said, we need to get to that point. The number 2 point here on the point on defining your brand identity. On the A part, I said have a business and a story. I'm very clued on story. Personally, I want to know the story why. I want to know the story why. The story for me that is painful is because I have seen how Africans are segregated within us as Africans. It is a painful one. You will see us as Africans, we don't value ourselves. We literally almost close to nothing in somebody's eyes. And one of the things for me is when I find our fellow Africans, I try to make them understand that you are valuable. I understand that our fathers might have tried their best to do what they have done thus far, but it's up to you and I for us to be able to make a different narratives and to also give the future generations who are going to be, I think they're even here, which is your Gen Zs and your Gen Alphas and all of those Gen moving forward. They're already here. But what Africa are we going to give to them? It's a question that I ask most of us who are Africans. And so on the A part, business theme and story, on the B part, which is where I'm going to focus on for today more, is the fact that you must be able to coin your target market. Your target market. And there are 3 terms that I'm going to be bringing on the table, which would help you understand your target market. The 3 terms, which means on your target market, the question there is, who are your ideal customers? In your ideal customers, you also have to understand what are their age, what location, where do they locate, what interest do they have that you can serve their interest. Many of us are literally just producing product without us understanding the interest of the people. You must be able to understand their interest. What is their interest? I was saying to one of my team just a few minutes ago before we come live, I said, I'm looking for somebody literally within the fashion industry or probably in all of the industry where you're currently operating, where we can then begin to come with a particular model that I'm going to talk as we go along. And I want you to please listen, follow this very particular show. And if you're not watching currently, you can watch later on and stuff. This will literally help and change the game, especially for us in Nigeria. It will help because why? The West are milking us on this very particular thing I'm going to be talking later, but we literally in our continent, we're not taking advantage of it. We have to. And so you must be able to understand your market, which is the age of the market that you are trying to target into, the location of the people, the interest of the people, also the income. See, you can't be producing a product for the average Nigeria, and yet you price it as if you are serving the 20% of the Nigerians. You are joking. Many of us are literally doing it currently. That I've seen a particular fashion designer who reached out to me. This very particular fashion designer, he is producing a product in a community where the people who can buy that thing, they are literally sitting in Ikoyi or Lekki. In Nigeria, in Abuja, we say they are literally in Maitama or in Asokoro or in Garki. And yet this person is literally sitting in one of the, and I'm like, are you for real? Because why? The person hasn't factored the location of where the business needs to be planted. These are small stuff that you need to do if you literally want to address. And so because of that, I'm going to be breaking how you are going to see your market in 3 different ways. Number 1 is what I call the TAM. So it's TAM, SAM, and SOM. Remember, TAM, TAM, SAM, SAM, SOM, SOM. So it's TAM, SAM, and SOM. If you can get these 3, I promise you, you will go back home, sit back, and begin to rearrange your business so that you can be able to address. Because at the end of the day, as we begin, even us as AfriOne Invest, as we begin to grow and sponsors begin to come in, our demand for things from you will change. For instance, now all of us have tell us a business and call, what do you want to do? 50,000, and that's all we leave you. But if you now want to come in a place whereby we want to fund 500,000, 1 million, 10 million, and all of those money above, you see this thing I'm saying? We will get there. So now I am trying to bring this very particular teaching now so that when we get to that place, you are not shocked. Like, but this is not, you are giving 50,000 then that time. Now, why can't you give us the 500 like that? Because some people can just come out and just literally be that kind of nuisance and just shout. Like, no, but I just qualify for the 500,000. Give me like that. Without us asking you this, it's a lie. We won't give you. Let me say like Nigeria, we will not give you. No, we like O in Nigeria. We will not. But now let's talk about the TAM first. What is a TAM? The TAM is the total addressable market. The total market of that industry where you are currently. Now, this is the total demand of your product or services. If there were no competition and you had 100% share globally in that very particular market, that's the TAM. Is the total addressable market. For example, we are going to use the logistics. I'm going to use logistics and fashion. For logistics, for instance, if there is no competitors within your space, the total addressable market for logistics currently in Africa is above $100 billion. Now, that's the total addressable market. But hear me, you cannot be able to address the whole total addressable market to say your logistic company can be able to serve all of the 8 billion people. It's impossible. But what the total addressable market gives you, it makes you see the potential of that market in terms of money and value. For property, for instance, property currently now in the total addressable market for property is currently sitting about $1.8 trillion. That's why the property market is a booming market. So which means if you enter into the property market, you have an idea of the total. Remember, we are still addressing the total market, the global market behind property, behind fashion, behind logistics. For fashion, for instance, the total addressable market for fashion globally is sitting above $500 billion. I know you, so I know I'm not just saying in rand. That thing will cost me problem. Let's just say in dollars. At least it's the only approved Western currency that almost all the African country uses. So now, you must understand that in the total addressable market, you are looking at the largest market size estimate. For example, let's say you are producing this watch that I'm wearing currently. What is the total addressable market of this watch? Do you have the value? Because your investors will want to see the total value of this, for them to know that, okay, if the market of this very particular watch you are producing is, for instance, $100 billion, then they now go to the number 2, which we are going to be talking about, which is the place of your SAM. The SAM there means your serviceable available market. Remember, TAM is the total available market. Now, this other part of your SAM, SAM, is your serviceable available market. What are the people that you can service? Because you can't tell me that you can serve 8.2 billion population. I'm sorry, it's impossible. I don't care what you are drinking or what you are smoking or which curriculum that you read in school or which religion sect you belong or the kind of prayer you pray. You cannot be able to serve the whole 8 billion population. No, it's unrealistic. If you go and meet any investor and say, no, my total addressable market, and that is also going to be my serviceable available market for 8 billion population, the person will look at you and say, you are joking. They won't even hear you. The moment you say that nonsense, they stand up and they go. Because why? It is not realistic. Now, when we look at the total serviceable market, what does it mean? It means that you can realistically serve based on your business model. These are the numbers that you can serve. And this very particular one, literally, it's most focused on your target region. For instance, the total can be Africa. Your serviceable can be Nigeria. And even in Nigeria, you can say also for now, you can service Abuja, where I'm currently located. So many of us, literally, we are, especially in an average Nigerian business, I'm very sorry, I'm going to say this. An average Nigerian business always feel that they can serve everybody. I'm sorry, it's not possible. AfriOne cannot wake up tomorrow and say, we want to serve the rich, the poor, the minority, and all of this very particular thing. It's unrealistic. Even you yourself, you will not enjoy that very particular. The reason why many of you currently now are on the AfriOne tribe group is because we are addressing you at this point. They will get to a point where it will shift from that very particular place to the next place. And guess what? Many of you will fall out from the group. And it's okay. It's called life. Because why? Since you have not moved, and we are not going to remain stagnant on the 50,000. Hear me. We're going to grow to 100,000, from 100,000 to 200,000. Before you know what's going on, we are giving 1 million on a weekly base or on a, what's it called? Depend. Because why? Our serviceable, addressable market, it has changed. So you must be able to understand that it is a practical step, the realistic people you can target. So which means now, as I was talking about the logistics says that it is $100 billion industry globally, more than $100 billion. I'm using that as just a number. Now, your serviceable addressable market is now saying to us that out of that $100 billion, you can only target logistics in West Africa for now. If you notice this very particular, I'm not saying you can, the market value is this, but I can only service, I can push for West Africa. And when you push for West Africa, you can also look at that to say, okay, for West Africa, how much is it? Then you can calculate. The calculation will give you. Probably for West African, if global say 100 billion, West Africa may be 10 billion. Now you are breaking your finance down so that you can be able to understand properly what to do. Now, when you get to that very particular place, so the serviceable market is 10 billion. Remember, you have the global price in your head, the global market space, which is 100 billion. Now you can only serve just that community of West Africa. Now let's begin to bring it down to the SOM. Remember, we're talking about TAM, SAM, and SOM. TAM says is the total addressable market. SOM says is the what you call serviceable, obtainable market that is, I'm sorry, the serviceable available market for SAM. And why for SOM is the serviceable obtainable. Do you see how the thing is breaking down? Now, this is what the West have. When the West are coming to invest in Africa, they look at these very particular things. I have seen a lot of pitch deck coming on my table, and sometimes when I look at the pitch deck, I just laugh. As much as I laugh, and it is painful, because remember the funds in which we have and stuff, these people want returns on investment. I must be honest with you, they want return on investment. And so the ones we can give up, we don't expect any returns. And that's why for me, I tell you, when you are on the AfriOne Tribe WhatsApp group, please understand this. You are not just there for 50,000 every time alone. No, you are not there for 2K Mondays. No, you are not. You are there for you to be able to get valuable lessons like this so that you can then begin. If I ask you, for somebody who is selling, I think let me just use for a random person, somebody who is selling, for example, plantain chips, for instance, or maybe you are selling clothes. Have you been able to look at the total addressable market to understand the value that is in your industry? And from that, are you also conscious of the obtainable that is available? Are you conscious of that? And which one can you service? Which is a SOM we're talking about. The SOM says there is your serviceable, obtainable market, the ones you can serve. And in the definition in which I put here, I says this is the portion of SAM you can realistically capture in short terms. For us now at the moment is small business. We are not what's it called? The owner of Dangote, for example. Dr. Dangote, is it doctor? I don't know why I'm adding doctor. Maybe he wants to go and study medicine, but well, Mr. Aliko Dangote at the moment, when we look at him when he started, and this is a model that a lot of us can lose, including many of us who are Christians. I'm sorry, I'll include us in that picture. When Dangote started his business, he started first as a sugar. He was focused on that. He grew. The next minute, we understand cement. From there, we started seeing, is it noodles or Indomie or whatever that thing is. You know the step that he was taking. And all of that, literally, he started from Nigeria, where you and I are. Nigeria. Currently now, as we're talking now, I think the other day I was looking at a particular research online, and I discovered that Dangote literally currently now is servicing China. Literally. The guy who did that particular documentary was showing Dangote tanks literally in China, branded, supplying petroleum product that you Nigerians here, literally, maybe you are not even taking him serious. He has gone to the point where he has calculated the oil industry. What is the total? He broke it down to the samples, the availability. Then he now took it down also to the samples obtainable. How many of us are thinking about that? Even in your church, let me be honest with you, pastors and pastors. Is that something called pastors? Yeah. But yeah, sometimes I coin English. Pastors and pastors. Literally. Whether you like it or not, sit back and look at your church. The reflection of you as a pastor determines the kind of people who come into your church. Literally. If your church literally is a business people kind of talk in your church, I promise you, you'll find young men like my kind who are going to come to your church because that's where we are thinking. That's your addressable market. If your church literally is all about enemies from my father's house and dealing with the phobias and stuff, you will find some certain group of people literally in your church. And if you bring me their chances, I may not survive. I will come in and I will bounce out and stuff. I actually wanted to say something that will cause me a problem, but I'm not looking to trend on that part now, so I'm not going to say it. It's fine. Nigerians can just make it trend for no reason. But what am I trying to say? Even your churches, if you ask your pastor very well, he will tell you that he also has some certain people that he's addressing. That's why you see on Sunday is a general message, because Sunday service literally is like a reception. Everybody is welcome. So the message must fit everybody. Go check the message you preach on your weekdays or probably your small group. They are totally different because why? These are matured people that comes in. And so your weekday service is the addressable market of the church, but your Sunday service is the collective total market, just to make sure that they entice you for you to come. You notice that during weekdays, they don't give you sweet and tea. But on Sundays, they give you teas and sweet and tell you, okay, fine. When you come, they even give you a hamper. Some of you even collect Indomie going home and all of those very particular things. Why? It's a total addressable market. I know somebody will look at me, Darwin said, like, you have brought church in business. I'm sorry, it is. Jesus Christ said it at 12. I'm busy doing my father's business. So that's why I draw that church is a business. At 12 years, the guy was very innocent. His mind was very clean, but he knows that's my father's business. Now, as we're talking about now SOM, let's go back to SOM. You must understand that this is your initial market share target. This helps investor to see the near-term revenue potential. If I'm going to ask you now for you to tell me your SOM, which are the serviceable, obtainable markets that you have put on the table, I must be able to see. You can't tell me that, for example, let's use Abuja on all this TAM, SOM. I mean, the TAM, SAM, and SOM. Let's use Abuja where I'm currently located. Abuja, for instance, will tell you that the market value for fashion, for instance, maybe the market value for fashion is 10 billion naira, for instance. That is Abuja. Now, in Abuja, I am currently sitting at the location called Gariki. Chances are there is a municipality that I don't know if it's municipality, but there's a local government that Gariki is in it. So now, on that very particular place, I must be able to understand my SAM, which is the Gariki local government area, which would include, I don't know if Gariki is inside Lokogoma and all of this small Nyana kind of stuff that are in it. Now, those are my serviceable market within the Gariki metropolis. But now, within where I am staying currently now, the Gariki 2 is the people in which my product can serve. You have to break it down that way. Otherwise, hear me, you will just call and say, I need $200 million, and somebody is asking you, what are your TAM, your SAM, and your SOM? If you can't give that very particular answers, hear me, no sharp investor with his head, with his brain still on his head, will take you serious. They will not take you serious. They will let you go. So because of that here, we must be able to do, as I begin to bring a quick summary on this, is the fact that you must understand that your TAM is your entire market. Your SAM is your target market. And why your SOM is your immediate goal. If I ask you now, what is the immediate goal for your business? I need 50,000. I understand that my industry currently now can produce 100 million. But my immediate goal out of that very particular 100 million of the total, I have given you my SAM. Now, this is my SOM. My SOM is, I'm looking at 0.7% of the whole total market. Because why? You have broken it down to smaller pieces. Are you a property owner? Are you a fashion designer? Are you into the real estate business? Are you into service delivery? You must be able to break these three things. And so that you don't just throw your target anyhow. You don't. One of the stories I like about David is the fact that when David needed to bring Goliath, as much as you must understand that that guy is not just, it was not just favor that guaranteed that, or he was lucky to bring Goliath down. Go and study David. David was a skilled shooter. That guy can sleep and shoot. As long as he hears where the person's voice is coming from, he can sleep and turn that sling. It will meet you there. So it was not the fact, I've heard a lot of preacher preach and say, no, David just showed the thing and the angel of the Lord carried the thing and go and put it in the head of Goliath. It's not so. David was very good. He knows how to shoot. He has already sat down, investigate Goliath. And he knows that the only place that is empty in his body was his forehead. And he targeted it. That is what we're talking about, SOM. David did not look at the whole body of Goliath. And now the 5 stone, he has, let me shoot it and try his body. Chances are his body is not the target market. Or let me shoot his leg. He looked, okay, the one I can service to hit the target is his forehead. And when the stone got there, the guy died. Because why? He knows the stuff. So you must be able to understand that. Understand the value of your entire market, understand the target segment that you are going to push into, and also understand your immediate goal. Now, as I begin to bring my thought to a close so that I can then begin to pick your call, you must understand this. I was saying to, the video man who was busy behind the scene, and we're just talking. And I was saying to him, his name is Echo, so you guys can go and find him. I feel like putting him in trouble, but I don't want to put him in trouble. I just like trouble, but it's fine. And I don't know how far he is on that department, that part whereby somebody was randomly obtaining. So I don't know how far it is. Otherwise, I would have looked for his trouble on that part. But he's a very young man. You can actually find him on social media, and just follow him, and also just get to do your media stuff, and you will enjoy him. So that's the way I'll say it. But I was saying to him, which is going to be my point number 2 that I want to talk in terms of choosing your business model and structure. Now, this is where we now look at the liquid that needs to come, which is the liquid cash and stuff. And I was saying to him on the fashion industry here, I said, see, there is a metrics that a lot of us are not looking into, which is what I call, in terms of choosing your business model, which is what I call the subscription business. And I was saying to him off air, I said, I'm still looking, and I'm looking at the camera currently. Maybe this will help somebody. I'm still looking for somebody who is going to come with a business model on a subscription service base. Many of you literally, do you think that Netflix is stupid or they don't have brain whereby they put their product as a subscription base? They know what they are doing. They know that if we can be able to address, they know the total amount of consumers of movies globally, they break it down to America, and now currently now, after over 10, 15 years when I checked last, they are currently now almost every nations of the earth. But guess what? They knew too well that everybody will not be able to watch over 5,000 movies that is on their platform. Chances are, to be very honest, the only time I remember watching Netflix most times is when they've debuted me. I'm like, Kilode, I quickly go and carry my Netflix. Let me watch one. But guess what? That doesn't stop them from the following month. Whether I watch 1 or I watch 10, they will still take their monthly subscription. And I was saying to him, I said, how many of us currently in Nigeria can create a subscription base on your business and the product that you are offering? There are some of you who are literally a food seller. You sell food, or you run a returner. Is it returner they call it? Not returner. Restaurant. Yeah, I call it returner because after you eat food, you return the plate. So, so I call it returner, but it's called restaurants. That's the English word for it. So restaurant, for example, a restaurant business owner, a fashion designer. How many of you can come to that very particular point where literally you can look at the business model of your company or your product that you are offering and says, okay, I am going to start charging a monthly, monthly installment, or for example, let's say food. For example, you know that an average person cannot finish 10,000 naira food. And you say, okay, fine, the person would eat 10,000, and chances are maybe they will eat every day, assuming. But you know too well the chances are they may not also come every day. 10,000 naira times 5 times 4, which is Monday to Friday. You are listening now. I'm bringing it down to SOM, your serviceable market, because you must understand your SOM. You look at it that, okay, in the area where I am in Garki, we have 5 business people here. Most of the people, they are singles or maybe married ones who they can't cook at home and stuff. But I'm going to create a subscription package in my food business and make them understand this, that you can give me every month, you can give me 100,000, for instance, and the 100,000, you can come in and eat anything for 10,000 naira. Now, guess what I was saying to my colleague here? I said, it is not about that one client, because most times we price our business based on one client coming. That's why most of the times we don't have recurring clients, because we literally focus on, I want to put this price this big. You are selling this mic, you are putting the price at a 1,000% profit. I can only come once. After that, I won't come back again. God help you. I don't find somebody who is actually giving me at a better price. I'm gone. But when you know that this mic, you can do it on a subscription base and say, okay, fine, we are going to give you this mic. It's not your mic. But every month you can be paying us, for instance, 10,000 naira. So you can have the mic every month, you pay us 10,000. We will come and service the mic if there is a fault in the mic and stuff. And when you calculate this, you'll be so shocked that your business, literally, if you are serving 1,000 people per month, you're shocked that in that month you will have over 10,000 people paying you 10,000 naira every month. And guess what? Most of the times that they may not even come for the mic to come and rent it in your place. But it's a subscription package. Let me ask you, on your Netflix that you watch, your Showmax, your Netflix, all of this online streaming that you are paying money monthly, do you watch those films every day? The answer is no. And even though you watch the movies every day, do you watch those movies the whole 24 hours? The answer is no. And yet, every month, you pay them your subscription package. Choose your business model. You must be able to understand that in choosing your business model, you ask yourself that if I am in a service base, which means if your business is service based or a product based or a subscription or membership model. Membership model, for instance, I think one of the things I've seen in Nigeria is currently doing it is your gym guys. Your gym guys literally are doing by you pay monthly stuff. You know that even gym, I tried it in Lagos, I will not forget. I only went to gym, I think it's like 2 times in that month. And I gave them their 45,000 naira. What they don't ask me, they won't force me and stuff. In fact, they even gave me a personal gym instructor. The guy will call me, I ask him, have I not paid for it? He say, yes, leave me alone. There are many of us like that. So you must understand, we are taking our time. I'm taking my time to explain this before the call, before we give access to call, so that as you are doing your business, consider the time. See, reason why many of us are not passionate about what, apart from the fact that you have prayed, you have fasted, you have bind the devil, you have done everything, you do not understand the total addressable market that you are currently in. You don't understand it. If I ask you in your fashion business, what is the total value of the fashion industry? Chances are the answer is dololo. If I ask you on property, chances is dololo. And you wonder why you are not making progress. You should be able to sit down and understand your total addressable market. Then from there, you break it down to your serviceable market, which I mean to your available market, which is your SAM. And you bring it down to also the ones that you can obtain. As I begin to bring my thought to a close, the number for you to call us is 081 277 93453. 081-277-93453. That's the number for you to definitely give us a call for us, for you to talk. And first and foremost, I want somebody to call and let's just talk about your business model before you start pitching for your 50,000. But I know many of us literally the whole thing, like I've heard you, I just want my 50K. We'll give 50,000, you will buy that very particular thing you want to buy, but yet the business model and the structure of your organization may literally not be in view. And that's where the problem is. Many of us literally we are pursuing. Now, as I begin to bring this very particular place of choosing your business model, number one is the fact that you have to describe how your business will operate and make money. In describing how your business will operate and make money, is your business registered? For example, now in Nigeria, from 1st of January, it's part of your structure. From 1st of January now, they are slamming us for income tax owner. They are slamming us currently with a 20%, whether you earn income directly or indirectly. I think the one that will make me laugh is when they actually slam the income where if you are not in Nigeria, let's say you are in diaspora, but you are making money from Nigeria, you are also going to pay. I say, ow. Like, yeah, ne. As I would say it in South Africa, yeah, ne. It was quite strange when I hear that very particular stuff. And it is even quite interesting where all of the money you are going to be paying, if it passes 800,000 naira, South African, that'll be less than 10,000 rand. Like you are going to be taxed on top of that very particular 10,000 rand or 800,000 naira in Nigeria. And the tax there is 20% income tax. Well, let me not say the other things I said behind the scene to my people and stuff. So you must understand your legal registrations. Are you registering as a sole proprietor? Are you registered as a partner? Is it an LLC, which is limited liability company, or is it a corporation? On the core business model, you must understand, are you in the industry of service-based industry? Or are you a product-based industry, which means you produce this very particular pen and it is physical? Or are you a digital-based industry? Digital will be like your ed tech kind of guys, the ones whereby people can come on your website and for them to be able to buy product and stuff. Or probably you are offering a digital service, for example, consulting. You're consulting online. People don't have to come to your office and stuff. But whichever industry you find yourself, please, you must be able to understand your TAM, your SAM, and your SOM. And also, in terms of also begin to structure your pricing. Are you going to structure your pricing based on subscription, or you are structuring your pricing based on membership model? For us as AfriOne, I can tell you point blank, we have a system that we've put. But because I understand the place in which I am currently now in Nigeria, we are still trying to put the balance and stuff. It will get to that point whereby the core business will begin to shift. Or probably are you in a business of license? I think in licensing part, I've seen most of all of this AI platform. They do a lot of licensing products. I think I remember it's a particular music in which everyone is currently using and stuff. To be very honest, for the licensing, company in which we went to, and we decided to just get that very particular license, use that very particular sound, throw our, for example, lyrics and stuff, and boom, everything was out, and life moves on. So there's a licensing side of things. For example, your YouTube also is a licensing platform where if you go and use somebody else's music and stuff, you'll see that they will highlight copyright. The person is making money than you. because the person has put that business as a licensing system where they make more money better than you do. Better than you do. Because why? It's a licensing organization. Also, my question to you is the fact that your core business model, is it an e-commerce or is it a marketplace where you literally go out there? You know, a pastor of mine once said that if you're in the marketplace and you don't have people negotiating with you in the business that you do, you are yet not in the marketplace. You must be able to understand that. You must be able to understand that. And also, in terms of your organizational structure, who are the executive leaders? So, you hear me? If you are the one making all the decisions in that very particular company without you having a system in place, like as I'm sitting here currently now, I have two people who is currently behind this very particular place. So it's part of the structure of AfriOne Nigeria. South Africa has its own different model and stuff. That's why I can be in Nigeria successfully without giving myself headache. You know why? Because why? There is organization structure. And I like saying to my team, I say, to get to that very particular point where this I'm doing, you all will sit back and do it without me. Because why? I'm not sitting here looking to create dependents. I'm also here for me to make leaders who will lead the organization. I'm looking at a legacy structure. Everyone is bigger than me. I can't be able to do it all, to be very honest. I can't. Maybe you're watching me currently now, you're looking and you're saying that, okay, I like what you were talking. I want to join the AfriOne network of things. What are the business model and co? You can also use the number that is currently flying on the screen or beneath my name and just book an appointment. Let's talk. I need you. As much as you need me, I need you. I think as I'm saying this, I'm laughing. By the time we were talking about tax stuff, and then the team was saying, "Size, yes, please, moving forward, can you not put me in the picture?" And one of them was like, "You have to be alive, that we have to fight this." I'm like, I went to meet her. I said, "Let's chop knock. Don't worry." I asked one of the men, I said, "Will you allow your 18 years old to be put gun on the head?" The man kept quiet. So that's why Nigerians are not taking us serious, because they know we're not willing to fight. Now, the question then for me to ask you concerning your business, are you willing to pay the price needed? If I ask you, who are the operations? As my team were busy setting up all of this very particular thing, I was studying to see myself approved. I was studying. In the business where you are running currently, do you have a sales and marketing team? Now, all of these are also part of structure you have to consider. They are. They are part of structure. Who are the people that are managing admin? I remember, I think, with the admin lady, I call her the deputy mother of this very particular organization where we are now. Because I'm tired of shouting, I had to ask her to go get something and go. So I can just press, because what, it's admin, it's her stuff. She can easily flow on that part. If I ask her to come and sit here and do this one now, she would have finished all her conversation in 2 minutes. And she'll be looking. Whereas the count time is going. Because why? It's a admin kind of system. Who are the customer that you are? You know, this part of customer here, I think I want to pause my conversation here. This customer side of things here, for me, I ask a lot of people, do you know your customer? Or you just know the money they have in their bank account? Do you know your customer? Do you know that you can literally sell that same product 5 different ways to that one customer that is in your business? But if I ask you the last time you checked, and some of you think that your customer must just come to your office every time that they have a need. Sometimes you'll be the one to call your customer. Are you okay? Are you fine? Are you? I can tell you point blank, in Nigeria, most of all the guests that have been on the platform, Darlington, I have personally reached out to them. And not that I'm reaching out to them for them to come on the show, just to make sure that at least they are okay. Because why they, so that tomorrow, if I'm going to bring a particular product I want to sell, they have tested the brand known as AfriOne. It is easy for me to sell to them first, because why? They understand the vision, the value, our market proposition, and the position in which we are staying in the market. That's why they were part of our guest on the show. Do you do that? Or you are just waking up in the morning? There are some of you, literally, the reason why your business is not moving forward. Let me say this. I almost feel like sounding like a pastor to say it's a revelation. It's not. It's just based on my business and stuff. Some of you literally need, after this show is done, call all the customer that you have serviced and ask them, how are you doing? Are you fine? How is your dog, your cat? If they want to talk about their chicken and stuff, listen to them. And by the time you are done, you let them understand. Please, is there something that you think I can help you do to make your life easier today? You'll be shocked that they will come back and buy product from you. Many of us are literally selling products. We're not selling relationship. And that's why business is not moving.
And you wonder, you think that is the enemy from your father's house that is attacking you. It's not enemy, sir. Hear me, it's not enemy. Coca-Cola now, I think if I'm not mistaken, Coca-Cola came up with a new concept. No, they've done it in South Africa, but I'm beginning to see it in Nigeria here, where they had to go to a point whereby they actually brought it back again. They did it before, they brought it back again now, where you will buy a Coca-Cola and you can literally customize your name on top of it. What do you think they are doing? It's customer relation. As you are drinking, this is the thing that you don't understand. When you go buy the Coke and you see your name echo on the Coke, you will snap that thing and you will post it on social media to say, this is my name here, but you have just advertised Coca-Cola free of charge. Do you have a what's it called? A customized product that can make your people feel that you see them? Coke is making you to feel that the you see them. That's why they put your name on that product. I think I also saw one on one of the detergent also. Nigerians. Those of you who are still trying to get up, hear me. You think that your competitor is your neighbor or that village witch. Those uncle are minor. They don't qualify. They don't strategy. Hear me, there is a way you will push your thinking in your business that even your uncle, who is the witch in your family, will come and also idea on how to. Okay. Wow. For those of you who weren't seeing me before, I'm so sorry. I don't know where I stopped. But I'm hoping that what we're going to do is the fact that we have this also recorded. It's going to be edited properly and also it's going to be put on YouTube because I can't go back. I can't really tell when the live streaming went off. So we literally apologize on the live streaming going off. We would see how we'll do this. Oh, Kelvin, I see you. Kelvin, my brother, how are you doing all the way from Joburg? I see all my Joburgers. And for all my Joburgers, love you all. Thank you so much for your message and your shout out. So I think what is going to happen, my team is going to edit all of those things that are separate, and also they are going to send it on YouTube as a different package, because literally it went off. So as I was saying, literally I've forgotten what I was saying before now. But yes, as I was talking about the whole concept of offering quality standard product. Please, can we be able to be ensured that your product are quality? Quality product. Quality product. Hear me, every one of you who you have received some certain level of support from the AfriOne network, please, I want to encourage you, please look at quality. See, I know that yes, the economy currently now in Nigeria, dollars is making us look as if we don't have mind. Because that's all I can say. It's, you will see somebody who literally is selling pepper on the street, and you ask them, why is the price different? They tell you, no, dollars is high. You're like, pepper. Like everything in Nigeria is affected by dollars. Everything is affected by dollars. But between now and that time, while we'll begin to find a way of how to solve this very particular thing, please, I want to encourage you, hear me and hear me well. Let's try as much as possible for us to produce quality. If you see the time in which I sit down to make sure that this information I'm bringing out, I don't joke with it, because why? I want you all to still remain and also keep getting value for the things that we are saying. For me, it's about value added product. And in that very particular value, I'm going to give you all of the ecosystem that you need, just to make sure that when you succeed, I succeed. Maybe for some of you who are literally watching, probably maybe you're watching or you're rewatching, and you feel like you want to bring your business for us to sit and do what we call troubleshooting, I want to encourage you, please, and please, you can call us on the numbers that are currently on the screen, and let's get talking. Hear me, I'm so passionate about small business or startups. I'm passionate about it because I know that that's the backbone for every country. The backbone for every country. And I keep saying this, and I'll say this again. Your country do not owe you jobs. They don't owe you job. Your country, for example, Nigeria, do not owe anybody job. We can see the job they provide is the fact that they have to create a balloon, what you call executive arm of the government, where literally you are looking at the people sitting in, I think Nigeria is called Senate House and House of Rep. In South Africa, we call it Parliament. You can look at the people sitting in Senate House and House of Rep. Literally, they are fighting to kill themselves, because why? The only job government can create is to expand that, which will then put pressure on the GDP of the country. And because of that, they will increase your tax, because they need to pay those very particular people. So even the so-called ministers, senators, House of Rep and co, they are employees. Let me say this so that this will cause me problem, which is fine. Hear me. You know, I keep seeing some certain things that's happening online and co, where some certain sect of people literally would come out and make it look as if for you to construct road is a favor you are doing to us. Please hear me, and I'm looking at you, sir. I'm looking at you, ma. It's not a favor. Your job description in that place where you are sitting is for you to give us good road, good security, access to social amenities, access to good infrastructure, which include light, water, whatever and stuff. That's your job, sir. If we don't tell you thank you, it is because we don't need to thank you for doing what you are supposed to do. But it's only in Africa you will see somebody literally doing what they are employed to do, either as a minister, a senator, or whatever position you are currently sitting, a governor or a president, and yet we still have to tell you thank you as if you are doing us favor. Sir, ma, our tax is already paying you. We need something to be done. What you owe us currently now in Nigeria and in Africa, you owe us policies and environments where we can thrive. An average business in Nigeria is literally one check away for being broke. What policies are you bringing on board? What system are you bringing that can help an average business to go? Currently now, you've slammed us with a tax of 20% income tax. Now, if you look at it from 800,000 that you're putting that, sir, ma, and every of the executive, hear me, sir. Have you considered that the 800,000 that you are putting, how will that person breathe when they have to pay their following year rental? Because from 800,000, if they're earning 100,000 per month, in 1 year, it is literally 1.2 million. Their tax on 1.2 million is 240,000 out of that very particular money. So literally, they are left, if I'm not mistaken, about 980,000, what you call naira. What do you think that they can do in the economy of Nigeria where you and I are sitting? It's a pain. And I'm saying this to appeal to government, to all the tax guys. Please, let's sit back again. Don't bleed Nigeria. Nigeria is already bleeding. Don't bleed us out. Many of us are literally bleeding out. Because why? Even the curriculum that we are currently, like one of the guests in which I brought, they say our curriculum is actually helping us to jackpot. So you are literally going to use business now to jackpot. This is what I'm going to say. It's not a prophecy. It's based on business environment. A lot of businesses market from 2 months from now, they'll begin to shift their headquarters out from Nigeria to a place whereby the economy tax is totally friendly, e.g., Dubai. Secondly, Rwanda. Third, Kenya. Fourth, South Africa. They are going to move. Fifth, Namibia. Watch it. It's going to be happening. If you notice, I'm mentioning a lot of African countries because why? Their tax system is favorable for entrepreneurs to literally grow. Nigeria is 220 million population. The unemployment rate in this country, literally, forget the fact that Nigeria is a street-based kind of business, is sitting at 58.2%. That is huge. 100 million plus of Nigeria literally are unemployable. When I use the word unemployable, not that they didn't go to school, the curriculum that they got cannot make them get an access into it. I was seeing a particular video that was trending here in Abuja, where a particular club, literally, I think it's a club or a restaurant, sorry. They now needed to employ, I think they were looking to employ about 5 people who is going to be waiters. They said over 1,000 people employed came live for the interview. And the salary literally is less than 100,000, I think 100,000, 120,000. And literally all of the people, this person who came out and published that, all the people who came to apply for that very particular job, the minimum of them is a degree holder. I'm not saying WAECO, degree holder. We can do better. We can do better. Please, my government, my continent, your leaders. I think I'm seeing your calls coming in. I just choose to ignore your call today because this one is personal for me. You pardon me. Next week we'll take calls. We'll take calls next week. But please hear me, please and please. It is up to us for us to make a difference in our country. If we do not become intentional on how we run our lives as business owners, and also the policy you bring as leaders, we'll wake up one morning, we'll find out that Nigeria literally is becoming a shadow of itself. If it's not there yet, I just choose to assume because I'm still new in the country. If it's not there yet, but while you are busy pursuing and seeing that 2027 everybody got re-elected, please understand that also the 20% tax that you want to collect from our hand, we also need to be able to redo our business. As you're looking for to be re-elected, help us also to redo our business. With that being said, this very particular sector of this very particular one is proudly sponsored by Charlotte Love Foundation and also Charlotte Prime Homes. For those of you who are into the property business and you want to do your business in property, I want to encourage you, use the number that is available on the screen and you can call Charlotte Prime Homes. Let's say you want to sell your house, your land, or whatever sellable within the property space, or you are looking for somebody to be able to give you a proper evaluation of your business, or maybe you are trying to see a way of how to market your property and you don't know who will market it for you. Or finally, maybe you are sitting currently and you just want to consult to understand the property space. I want to encourage you, please call the number that is currently available on the screen, or probably you can email the email that is currently there so that the Ethan Gold family can be able to talk with you and also help you in guiding this. With it being said, I see all your questions coming in. I cannot be able to attend to them all today. I appreciate you all for taking out the time for you to listen to me. If you have any question you want to ask, please and please send us WhatsApp, send us SMS, send us emails, and also you can then be able to call in if you choose to call, and we'll try as much as possible for us to attend to you. I remain your host, the Afropolitan Apostle known as Darlington Steve. I'll see you on the subsequent production, which is going to be on Friday next week at exactly 2 p.m. Promise I'm going to pick your calls. Promise you I'm going to pick. But today I just really want to just focus on more of the talks. And so that we can then be able to begin to put system in place for us. To all the teams who are behind the scenes, Echo, Givet, Nadi, I call her the boss lady. Thank you, every one of us, for making this a phenomenon. And please, I apologize to you all that I didn't pick your calls. And also to the team, I apologize to you all. I'll see you next week, Friday, 2 p.m. I'll see you next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. on the Armed Forces Radio, which is here in Abuja. Bye for now. Always remember that if our business would be able to become fundable, it has to have business structure and business model. Bye for now, and God bless you.
Hello, family. Are you looking for you to invest in the property currently now in Abuja, Karishi? This is an opportunity for you to get a 400 square meter of property, which is going for 700,000 naira right here in Karishi. And so for you to be able to enjoy this very particular promo, I want to encourage you for you to use my promo code, which is the Afropolitan Apostle, and you will get a 50,000 naira discount on the first 10 people that will be buying this very particular product. If you are not located in Nigeria, or probably you are outside of Nigeria and you want to be able to participate on this, please, I want to encourage you. I want you to use the number that is currently on the screen for you to call the office and tell them that you want to use the promo code, and they will do everything possible in making sure that you get your land. And so with that being said, what you will get when you buy the property from Ethan Gold Estate is, number one, you will get your deed of assignments, you will get your power of attorney, and currently the land already has what we call the R of O, which is known as right of occupancy. So which means it's 100% secured investment, 500% return on your investment if you are willing to keep your land and making sure that at the end of the time you have good returns in your investment. Remember, if you are doing this investment and you want to buy the land, it's going currently now for 700,000. But if you use my promo code, which is known as the Afropolitan Apostle, you then get 50,000 discount from that. Why must you invest? It's the fact that it's a fast-growing environment. It's literally 15 minutes from the Karishi main town. So which means a lot of development is currently happening in that space. People are fast moving to that very particular area. And from what I gather and visiting that very particular place, literally limited space available. So literally this product is first come, first serve. And I want to say this, at Ethan Gold Estate, we are good at marketing your product, making sure that your investment for product blossom and you get good return in your investment. We also advise you on the terms of investment to do when it comes to property. And maybe for you watching this, you have a land or a house you want to sell. I want to encourage you. Why don't you talk to Ethan Gold Estate, and they'll be able to facilitate a good deal with you and to get your product out there. Always remember, Ethan Gold Estate is a proud sponsor of the AfriOne show, Voice of a New Tribe, Nigeria. Thank you, and God bless you.
The AfriOne show, Voice of a New Tribe, where the Afropolitan spirit rises as we come together to rebuild Africa, Nigeria, and its marketplace, empowering its people and the diaspora with everything they need. Together, we form a new tribe, creating opportunity and access to markets, driving reinvestments, fostering collaboration, and working to elevate and one another with proven solutions. A true revival in Africa is possible despite the challenges, though through intentional development that drives innovation, delivers mutual benefits, and inspires a culture of ownership for Africa and Africans. The time is now to unite, innovate, elevate with the Afropolitan Apostle, Darlington Steve, on the AfriOne show, Voice of the New Tribe.